Cloud Run brings the flexibility of containers to the simplicity of serverless. In this video, let's see how to package your app into a container and deploy it.
Hello, and welcome to Build and Deploy Your App with Cloud Run. I'm Martin Omander.
And I'm Brett McGowan, and we're on the serverless team at Google. When we as developers run code in the cloud, we often have to choose between the simplicity of serverless or the flexibility of virtual machines or containers.
If you run your code in a virtual machine or in a container, you can use any programming language, any framework, and any libraries. But you will also have to configure the runtime environment, networking, operating system, and other infrastructure. This can be a lot of work.
However, if you choose serverless, you don't have to worry about infrastructure. Your app scales up and down, and you only pay when it's running. What you give up in flexibility, you gain in productivity and simplicity.
With the launch of Cloud Run, you don't have to choose. You can get simplicity and flexibility.
We'll write a hello world in Python, but the same principles apply to apps written in Go, Node, Java, C#, PHP, or many other languages.
You can use any language as long as it listens for HTTP requests coming in on the port given by the port environment variable. That means that you need to include a web framework. You should use whatever library you're familiar with, like Express if you're using Node, Spring Boot application if you're using Java, etc. Here's an example of doing it in Python. We're using the Flask web framework. The hello world function runs when the root URL is accessed, and it returns hello followed by whatever value is in the target environment variable. At the bottom, the code sets up the Flask application to listen to the port given by the port environment variable. You can debug and run this locally using your regular debugging tools.
Once you've finished writing your app, you can deploy it to Cloud Run in 3 steps: define, publish, and deploy. Step 1 is to define a container by writing a Docker file. This file lists the commands to set up the environment your app needs, which operating system to use, which runtime, which frameworks are needed, which port it listens to, and more.
Step 2 is to publish your container using the gcloud command line tool. The published container image is stored in the container registry in your Cloud Platform project. By default, your container will be private within your project.
Step 3 is to deploy your published container to Cloud Run. To deploy your newly created container, run this command and supply the service name and region. On successful deployment, the command line displays the service URL. Paste that URL into a browser to see your new service running. Congratulations! You have just deployed a serverless containerized application.
Remember how the Python code returns hello followed by the value in the target environment variable? You can set the value of environment variables with the same command you use to deploy the service if you use the set envvars option. If you prefer, you can set environment variables with a separate command without deploying your app.
If you're already using Google Kubernetes Engine, you can enable Cloud Run on your cluster. Then you can easily deploy this same code to your cluster with just one additional command line parameter. To learn more about the differences between Cloud Run and Cloud Run on GKE, check out the next video in this series.
Now you know how to write an app, package it up, and deploy it to Cloud Run. Start from this simple Hello World example and build something that's useful to you. It could be a web app, an IoT backend, an API, or even a chatbot for Google Assistant.
We can't wait to see what you build on Cloud Run using your favorite language and libraries. See you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe for more videos like this.